Borna Coric had an absolutely incredible week at the Western and Southern Open in Cincinnati. Nobody's been able to stop him, and he totally deserves the title, but fans expected Stefanos Tsitsipas to at least give him a tough time, which he didn't. Now he's under fire for not trying hard enough. And in today's video, we're talking about exactly that. So let's get started. First up, did Tsitsipas not try in the final? Don't get us wrong, even Steph's had a great week. Making the finals of a Masters 1000 title is no small feat, but we have to wonder if he really gave it his all. Now, he was excellent in his semifinal against Daniil Medvedev, barely missing a step to get a win over the world #1. So fans expected more or less the same in the final, but he was no match for Coric, not even slightly. And fans have questioned the lack of effort seen by the Greek. It was as one-sided as a final can get, and fans in Cincinnati didn't get the match that they thought they would. Even commentators couldn't help but point it out, especially towards the end of the match. It seemed like he was barely trying. He didn't even attempt to run for balls at times. Many even wondered whether he was injured. One commentator said on live TV, "That's another one that he didn't even go for in the second set." Another commented that you have to wonder if he sustained an injury because it was just super strange to see. And we totally agree. What happened there? Yeah, we get that winning or losing is part of the game, but when you're a professional athlete, you're expected to give your very best out there. And from the looks of it, he didn't do that at all. Next up, what are fans saying about Tsitsipas? As you can expect, fans were very quick to notice the dip in Steph's level of effort. One fan tweeted that it wasn't like him to completely look uninterested in the match, especially considering that this was literally the final. And that's completely right. He always fights until the very end. Look at the Daniil game. He kept going and going until he got the victory. Another fan commented that his effort levels had taken a visible hit after his disastrous tiebreak in the first set, and he just simply couldn't mentally come back from that. Plus, fans were also questioning if he had suffered an injury that was preventing him from playing at his best. His run at the tournament had been great, with wins over players like Diego Schwartzman, John Isner, and of course the world #1. So it was very unlike him to look like he had no interest in winning and proving to be an easy win for the Croatian on the other side of the net. As of yet, he hasn't commented on his performance, so we'll have to wait and see whether something was actually wrong or if he just mentally tapped out after that first set tiebreak. We really hope there's nothing of concern, as we want the Greek to be fully fit and himself at the US Open next week. Moving on, Coric wins his first title in 4 years. Steph's lack of effort takes absolutely nothing away from Coric's win. He's been fantastic all week. In fact, his entire journey over the last couple of years has been nothing short of phenomenal. He was coming back after a long injury that kept him away from the sport for over a year. He had to go get surgery on his shoulder, and he only came into the tournament due to his protected ranking. In reality, he was ranked number 152 in the world, so literally nobody expected him to do what he did. And his run to the final wasn't an easy feat either. Only in the second round did he face Rafael Nadal, and the Croatian won that game in 3 sets. As it turns out, the only set he dropped in the whole tournament was that one against Rafa. From there onward, his journey wasn't easy either. He faced and overcame Roberto Bautista Agut, Felix Auger-Aliassime, and Cameron Norrie. His draw was stacked, and he made it look so easy. Honestly, we couldn't be prouder of the man. He was coming back from a difficult situation, and he did it in style. Not many can do what he did. And finally, Coric breaks into the top 30. With that phenomenal tournament, we'd say he deserves it. Following the results in Cincinnati, Coric climbed only 123 places to become the new world number 29. He beat 3 top 10 players in his return tournament, and if you ask us, he should have been placed even higher. This also means that the 25-year-old will get the most anticipated seeding at the US Open. Although considering his form right now, it's the other top players who should be grateful that they won't have to face him early in the tournament. Also, we have to wonder, could he have a chance at the final slam of the year? With Novak's departure and Nadal's fitness issues, the US Open is wide open. If Coric continues this run, he could very well come out on top. And while we're talking about this, it's not all bad news for Steph Tsitsipas either. Despite losing the final, the Greek broke into the top 5 after a fantastic tournament in Ohio. He's ranked number 5 in the world, overtaking Filip Krajinovic, Diego Schwartzman, and John Isner. And Medvedev remains at number 1. And that's all about how Steph Tsitsipas came under fire after his performance in the Cincinnati finals. Now let's move on to some other related news. First, Rafa Nadal has the chance to break this Roger Federer record. We'd lose count if he started keeping track of all the records Roger Federer has set in his decades-long career. He really is one of a kind. But right now, Rafa Nadal has the opportunity to break one of his very special ones. On June 18th, 2018, Federer came to be the world number 1 at 30 36 years and 11 months old. He broke his own record to become the oldest world number one, and well, it was historic. He had just won his 98th ATP title in Stuttgart. He had an incredible run after returning from a knee injury in 2017, and the Swiss maestro was at the top of his game years after people had thought he was done, and he was back where he belonged. Now, Nadal has the chance to become the oldest world number one. All he has to do is win the US Open and hold onto his ranking till March of next year. It's no small feat, but come on, we've seen Rafa do things that shouldn't be possible anyway. What's one more thing? And of course, his run in Cincinnati was super disappointing for the Spaniard. It would have helped him with this, and he felt it more than anybody else. But we know he'll be back. Next up, Roger Federer is back. We don't know about you guys, but we've been desperately waiting for this day. Tennis just doesn't seem right without its biggest star, and we've been deprived of him for over a year now. And it's been a long year. But the wait is almost over. In his most recent Instagram post, Federer can be seen training on the court again, and the world is healing. We couldn't be happier to see that the Swiss maestro is looking healthy and ready to come back. Fans had a total meltdown when they saw that video, and to be fair, that's completely understandable. There are very few sights in the world that are more rewarding than Roger Federer on a tennis court, so the reaction was very much justified. It looked like the clock had turned back as the 41-year-old effortlessly returned the balls from the baseline, and it was almost like he had never left. Of course, it is yet to be seen how he does in a competitive game, but we're just happy to see him with a racket. One fan commented that this was the best thing that they had seen all year, and we totally understand the sentiment. Roger is all set to make his return at the Laver Cup next month, and he'll be playing his first professional tournament at home in Basel in October, and both can't happen soon enough. And lastly, Dominic Thiem will play in the US Open. Folks, we're only bringing you good news today. Domi Thiem received a wildcard entry into the main draw of the final slam of the year, and we couldn't be more delighted for him, and for us. Now, life hasn't been super kind to the Austrian over the last couple of years. He was once on top of the world after he claimed the 2020 US Open Championship, but it's been kind of a downward slope for the former world number 3 since then. He suffered from knee injuries and wrist injuries, and his comeback hasn't been the smoothest, and we've missed him very much on tour. It's also super devastating that the highlight of his career so far came in front of an empty crowd thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic, and then his injuries kept him away from the sport. We hope this wildcard entry gives him some much-needed confidence boost, and he's back to the top of his game in no time. He deserves it, tennis deserves it, and we fans deserve it even more. He's been thoroughly missed. And that's a wrap for this video. Do you think Stefanos Tsitsipas just gave up in the second set against Coric, or do you think maybe he was injured? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this. We'll see you in the next one.